Good morning from Phuket, and just check it. This morning it was pouring down with rain. It's now just coming up to lunchtime and it's looking a lot better. Any ideas from behind me where I am at the minute? Where I've brought you over to? Well, this area is getting very, very popular indeed with tourists. And it's an area I would recommend you take a look at. It's outside the main tourist areas like Kata, Karon, Patong, Kamala. These are the main popular tourist areas. This is away from this on the southern coast of Phuket. I guess you'd say it's the southern part. It's not on the west coast. And it's an area that's had or is seeing a lot of development indeed. Over the last 2 years, the amount of development in this area has been phenomenal. Any guesses on where we are? I will tell you a little bit later, but just check this out. What a fantastic beach, and you can understand why tourists are clamouring to come here. There's a lot of accommodation, all grades from just rooms right through to 5-star hotels and villas, all scattered around here, set in a beautiful bay. There's actually 3 beaches in this area that you can take advantage of. I'm on the very first one. There's a small one over the back there, and there's one behind this beach as well. Now, a lot of people are saying Phuket is finished. I noticed on social media, and it's over, and a lot of these content creators are doing this just simply to grab views, using it as clickbait really, these titles. Phuket is far from finished. In fact, if it was finished, somebody better tell the builders, because the building that's currently ongoing here on the island is phenomenal. I've never seen so much development in all the 15 years that I've been coming and visiting Phuket, and now of course living here. It is expanding at a phenomenal rate. Now obviously if the island was finished and tourism was over, that wouldn't be happening. I'm sorry to say, they wouldn't be spending billions of dollars on the island if they thought that the island was finished and it was over. This is purely content creators using lines like Phuket's on a downward spiral, it's finished, all these clickbait things to get you to watch videos, when in fact nothing could be further from the truth. We are currently right in the middle of low season, and you can see yourself there's people here. Okay, it's not packed, and I'm not going to say it's packed, but there's certainly people here. And this is outside the main tourist areas. This isn't a main area, but it will be in the future. I can definitely see this becoming more and more popular, because up until fairly recently this was a great place to come and get away from all the tourism. And of course a lot of people now are gravitating away from the main tourist areas like Kata and Karon, Patong and Kamala, because they are too busy and they don't want the numbers of tourists around them when they're on holiday. They want different areas where the family can come and enjoy. You can see yourself, families on the beach here. Hard to believe that this morning it was absolutely pouring down, and now, well, plenty of people making the most of the break in the weather. I'm sure there's going to be some more rain on its way, because you've got to expect it. If you're coming to Phuket in low season, then you have to expect a degree of rain, because it's all part of the island cycle. We've got a very green island here in Phuket, and the reason why it's green is because we see a lot of rain, and we get most of it in the rainy season, and that's why it's called the rainy season. Well, that doesn't mean to say that it rains all the time. You get bursts. Sometimes it's just one shower in a day, sometimes it rains all day, but it's very rare that it rains all day every day non-stop. So you're going to get breaks, Of course, coming in low season, there are some benefits to it. Deals, special offers, a lot of the restaurants do discounts because of course they're quieter. Hotels, again, normally you can find better prices and deals within the hotels. Tours and trips, because of the weather situation, it makes things a little bit more unpredictable, so they tend to offer better deals. So there are definitely some benefits of coming to the island during the low season. If you're one of those people that has to have sunshine during their stay every day, then of course low season may not be suitable. That isn't to say that you can't get periods of sunshine, long periods, let's get it right, long periods of sunshine during low season, because you can. The last 2 weeks the weather has been fantastic, but of course during low season it has to come to an end, and we'll see some rain, and this is good for the island, not just for the trees and the plants, but for the reservoirs, because of course in the dry season, the high season, whatever you want to call it, the reservoirs on the island are under a lot of strain, especially nowadays, because the infrastructure isn't as strong as it needs to be to cater for the volume of tourists coming to the island. It is a crazy number, and of course all those hotels, all that accommodation, all the businesses using water out of the reservoirs. There have been times in the past where the reservoirs have almost run out. So I welcome the rain because it helps replenish those reservoirs, and it makes the high season a little bit more bearable. After all, who wants to go to a hotel and not be able to take a shower because there's no water? So these are the things you have to keep in mind. Now this area, as you can see for yourself, lots of accommodation here, that's for sure, and some reasonably good facilities. If you're looking for restaurants, they've got restaurants, cafes, and there's more being built all the time. So where are we? Well, we're actually in a place called Kokad Aon, which has been a favourite place of mine for a very long time, and it is developing now at a incredible rate. I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of hotels being built and have been built over the last 12 months. There's a great big one on the top of the hill there. They offer villas, I think they're called the villas if I remember right. There's also a big hotel just round the corner that's very popular as well, that's been built, and we are seeing these beaches now. At one time I used to bring Shadow down here for walking, but the beaches are becoming more and more popular with tourists, and they're becoming more busy. At one stage you very rarely saw people on this beach, but you can see yourself, even on a little bit of an overcast grey morning after some heavy rain, there's people on the beach. So if you're looking for somewhere outside of the main tourist areas, then this is definitely an area to take a closer look at. It's got some really nice restaurants that are springing up. It's got good facilities here. You're not too far away from the main resort areas. If you're staying here, you're certainly not cut off. In fact, it doesn't really matter where you stay on the island of Phuket. If you have your own transport, maybe you're renting a bike, maybe you're hiring a car, something like that. And of course I will mention, check out my wife's business if you want to hire a bike or a car, because she has a hire company. All the details for that will be in the description down below, so check that out. Give her a shout if you need something to do with a vehicle. But if you do have a vehicle, then getting around the island really isn't a problem. So it doesn't matter really where you stay, because if you stay here, you're 15 minutes away from Kata. So if you want to go and visit Kata for the day, the afternoon, you want to go into the markets, you can. You're 15 minutes away from Phuket town, so if you want to do a bit of souvenir shopping, hunting, then it's 15 minutes away. Patong from here would probably take you about 30 minutes, depending on traffic, of course. If you're on a scooter, it's going to be a lot easier because traffic's not so bad, but you get the picture. You're certainly not isolated by staying here. You may get better deals staying here than what you would do in Patong, but you can have all the benefits. If you want to visit Patong Beach, walk along Bangla Road, visit the shopping malls, you can do that with ease. There's buses that run to here from Phuket town, and again from Phuket town you can catch a bus to any part of the island, or most parts. I would say probably 95%. Little beach restaurant there. I'll get some food and drink right on the beach. Swadee Cap, good morning. So you can see yourself, nice little beach to spend, a little bit less busy than Kata. One thing I have noticed, no parasols on this beach, no sunbeds. I don't know about high season, but I don't think I've seen them actually. There are a few hotels along here that do have them, so obviously I understand some people do need those facilities, but on this actual beach itself is clear at the moment, so we haven't got all those vendors like you have on Kata. And I'm not against sunbeds, as I've mentioned in the past, but I do think sometimes some of the vendors get carried away and this spoils it for everybody. So drop some thoughts, drop some comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking about this area. Do you want me to cover more areas like this? They are becoming harder to find, I'll be honest. Phuket hasn't even started yet, let alone finished. It's growing at a phenomenal rate. I live here, I see the building that's going on everywhere, and I highly doubt these companies would be spending the amount of money they are if they honestly thought Phuket was finished. And it's only going to get bigger and bigger and probably more crowded. I know some people don't like the crowds, but some people do. Some people want to go on holiday to busy areas. Each to their own, that's what I say. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I will speak to you very soon.